Well, hello. So this is episode 3 of the London Years series. So let's do like a intro, no? For those who didn't watch the first 2 episodes, it's just about an Argentinian Spanish guy who moved to London in his own, just a crazy adventure, and not thinking like something temporary. So I didn't I didn't know exactly what to expect there, but I had the feeling that I had to do that, and it could have a happy end, even if I knew the beginnings were gonna be very, very tough, as they were actually. Okay, so you can see the 2 early episodes better where I explain everything, but yeah, the year is 2005. I arrived the 13th of June. Um, I had an agency who I contacted in Spain before moving to London that helped me to find the accommodation and who could organize some jobs interviews for me. That's another story. I will tell you later about these jobs interviews. So the very first day there in London, I managed to end the night in a metal pub, the Intrepid Folks. I met a guy, Bruno from Portugal, who invited me to a party that weekend. So I said, okay, why not? I don't know anyone here, so let's try it. So I had big expectations for the party, but I can't lie, it wasn't something really, really amazing. Just in the garden, in a house in South London, I don't know, at the end of the Northern Line in the tube. The very last station, I don't remember the name, started with M. I don't have the tube map now. And I realized even more about my limitations there. There were only 2 guys who could speak Spanish in the party. It was about, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 people and only 2 Spanish speakers. Because, as I said, my English back then was still really, really bad. So, one of the Spanish speakers were this Portuguese guy, and the other one was a crazy guy who I never seen it before, and I never seen since then. He had like a Hare Krishna style haircut, like all shaved and just a long hair at the back. And he was a nice guy, but we got quite drunk actually and smoking. I realized then that people there smoke more weed than in southern Spain. We were used to try, uh, well, hashish because it's very close to Morocco and it's very easy and cheap to get. But yeah, over there was weed, so we get quite drunk. Just early morning. I stay until the tube start working again to come back to Kilburn, where was my residence. So it was almost in the other side of the city. So yeah. So back then it was too early. My first days in London, so I didn't even change the SIM card in my phone. I guess I had an old Nokia, still 90s Nokia, and with a Spanish SIM card. Was still not using too much internet. We didn't have WhatsApp, nothing like that. So I didn't exchange telephone with anyone in the party. So I didn't keep in touch, not even with the Spanish guy. Just I saw this Portuguese guy again, just randomly, because we like the same kind of music, metal. So yeah, he showed me later on not only the Intrepid Fox, but also Garlic and Shorts, and Crowbar in Soho, and the World's End, and Elephant's Head in Camden, stuff like that. Well, so yeah, I spent the following day with hangover, and then back to reality. Back to reality is to contact my agency and trying to get a fucking job there, because I didn't have too many savings and my money were going down. I didn't have even a UK bank account yet, just a Spanish one, and not many savings, so I was really worried. And the rent, I was renting a room for a single person, and was very, very expensive, so I had to change that after a couple of weeks. I told the receptionist, Francesco, I think was the name, an Italian guy, to share with somebody so the money wouldn't go down so fast, because the jobs interviews were really crap. I was not going anywhere. I was getting interviews mainly to go to restaurants, and as I said, it was a lot of Italian people working there with Italian contacts. So most of the interviews were for Italian restaurants, where 90% of the candidates were Italian guys younger than me, so I was not going anywhere. And for an office job, my English was still very bad, so I was really worried, like thinking, okay, this is not gonna work out, so I will have to come back to Spain at some point if I keep going like this. So I moved in the same residence with another two guys. I don't remember the names. Well, one was a funny French guy, maybe, but both of them were like 20-year-old, and another one from Czech Republic. I think his name was Martin, maybe. And at least was good, because it was three of us from different countries, and the only way to communicate each other was with English. So after 2 weeks in my own in a single room there, not actually socializing too much with the people in the residence, I start talking actually, or trying to talk with these two guys, which was really good. We didn't have internet in the room, but this guy Martin had a radio, and we used to put a news channel. So yeah, finally I felt like I was learning a bit, trying to take notes, the words I didn't understand, checking in a normal paper dictionary. So the day passed, and finally that sad day arrived, 7th of July, 2005, which it was a nice day until then because it's my young brother birthday. But yeah, I think guys, what happened that day. So see if I can find some pictures, but it was terrible, man. It was terrible. And the thing is, my English was still not good enough to find out exactly what was going on, but I remember it was early morning, I think, like before 9. I had a job interview like in the afternoon, the very same day, but in the little radio we had in the room, I hear keywords that yes, I did understand, to have a quick picture of what was going on. The French guy already got a job in a restaurant in Kensington, so he was not there. And my Czech roommate came and yeah, he started, these motherfuckers, what they did, man, in rush hour was unbelievable, man. I had very fresh in my mind what happened in Madrid 1 year earlier when we realized that this kind of stuff could happen any country in the world, in Europe too, no? We didn't realize before Madrid, I think, and then that was happening there in London now, and I was there. And I was forced to take public transport all the time because I was trying to get the job, and every job interview was somewhere in London, could be central, could be west, southwest. So I was forced to take the tube, so I couldn't refuse to keep traveling because of fear for another attack. But it was very, very weird, very, very tough. I was having a really tough time, very worried, and now this. So I had a message and calls from all my relatives, friends from Spain, even from Argentina. Are you okay? Are you okay? We can't believe it. What the hell is going on there? Well, I remember the following days were really bad. People were scared of taking the tube, but we had to do it. The show must go on, like Freddie Mercury said. So I was scared for a couple of days, trying to avoid the tube. Then I realized I didn't have no choice but carry on with my life. And in the tube, people were more like looking, checking each other, because they say to report anything strange also. But what can I say, man? It was people with bags sometimes, but going to work, and it's normal. So it's not too much you can do in that situation anyway. So at the end, I thought, well, if something had to happen, it's like when you take an airplane. So if something had to happen, just let it happen. No, what can I do? Maybe it would be very sad for my friends and relatives, but no, honestly, not for me. To leave this crazy world. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe both. It's also no more headache, no more problems, and going to a different dimension that may be much better than this one, or maybe not. We don't know. But yeah, yeah, I will leave it at this point for the next video. So yeah, I survived that crazy 7th of July, and my problems were still there, and I still need to do something if I wanted to carry on with my life in London. So, see you in the next video.